Hey friends, welcome back to Beyond the Platform, where we explore the parts of worship leadership that don't always make it into Planning Center. This week, we're talking about the second component in our 6-part framework for a healthy worship and music ministry, the heart of worship. If the mind of Christ is about how we think, the heart of worship is about how we live. It's about posture, surrender, the daily choice to honor God, not with just our songs, but with our lives. But how do we live that out? Well, that's often shaped by something deeper, something that lives in the background of how we lead. I'm talking about the primal question, your core emotional need that subtly drives how you respond, how you connect, and yes, how you worship. So in this episode, I want to walk through all 7 primal questions and show you how each one shows up in the heart of worship, how it fuels it, how it can distort it, and how we can grow from it. So let's start with number 1, am I safe? If this is your question, you probably worship best when your soul feels settled. You're not looking for hype, you're looking for peace. And when your environment feels calm and consistent, you're all in. But if things feel chaotic, if the moment is emotionally unpredictable, you may find yourself holding back. You may even sit out entirely. The beauty is, you help others feel that peace too, and you help create atmospheres that are steady, reflective, and secure. Primal question number 2, am I secure? Now, if your question is, am I secure, you worship through truth. You connect with songs that are grounded in Scripture. You want theology that makes sense, not just emotion that feels good. The challenge is, you might struggle with overly poetic or abstract lyrics. You might miss the emotional depth you're looking for in doctrinal clarity. But wow, when you lead, you help people worship with their minds and hearts aligned, and that is very powerful. Primal question number 3, am I loved? If this is your question, worship is deeply personal. You come alive in moments where you feel God's nearness, His affection, His kindness. You love songs that say you're seen, you're held, you're not alone. But here's where it gets tricky. When you feel emotionally distant from God, worship can start to feel hollow. You might start asking, God, where are you? Even so, your gift is your emotional stability. You help people connect with the love of God in such a tender and needed way. Primal question number 4, am I wanted? Let's talk about this one. If that's your question, then worship for you feels most alive when you feel invited in. You don't just want to participate, you want to belong. And when you feel that belonging, you fully engage. You worship like someone who knows they've been chosen. But if you sense rejection, or even if you feel left out, you might pull away. You might question whether you're even supposed to be there. But your gift, you help others feel seen. You open the door and say, you're welcome here too. That's ministry. Primal question number 5, am I successful? If your question is, am I successful? You probably think about worship through the lens of purpose. You want to know, what is this accomplishing? You like direction, you like clarity, you want to lead people somewhere. And sometimes, when worship feels repetitive or aimless, you may find yourself disengaging. But when you're healthy, you bring incredible focus. You help build worship moments that are intentional and impactful. You remind people that worship has a purpose, and that is a beautiful thing. Primal question number 6, am I good enough? Now, if your question is, am I good enough, worship can really feel tender. You might come in carrying guilt or shame, wondering if you even belong in God's presence. But when grace breaks through, you worship from a place of raw, honest humility. You don't pretend, you don't posture, you lead with authenticity. And yes, there may be times when you pull back because you feel unworthy, but that very struggle makes you worship real. And that realness helps others let their guard down too. And finally, primal question number 7, do I have purpose? If your question is, do I have purpose? Worship has to mean something. You don't want to go through all the motions. You want worship to activate calling, to move people, to send them. And if it starts to feel routine or passive, you may tune out. But you're leading from a healthy place when you inspire people to live missionally, even in how they worship. You remind us that worship isn't just about receiving, it is about responding. See what I mean? Each question brings something very powerful to the table, and each one needs to be understood if we want to grow in our worship and help others grow too. Because worship is more than a song, it's a life. And when you know what your heart is asking, you can live that life of worship with freedom, with purpose, and with peace. If something is in this resonated with you, I'd love to talk with you further. You can learn more by taking the Primal Question Assessment at www.roncarter.com. I just want to thank you for being here today. So next week, we're going to look at the voice of discipleship and how your emotional wiring impacts how you disciple others through music. And remember this today: harmony in leadership informs and inspires. You have a blessed day.